Imagine being in a world where it is just ambient radiation. Above you is suspended water, the waters above. Imagine if that water was to come crashing down. Just think about this. That water is no longer suspended, it is in contact with Earth. It's not just moisture, it's just water everywhere. And of course, with all that water coming down, what was lower lying areas of land is now underwater. So any survivors are herded onto continents. Now, made a few little notes. The Earth, this is just from an internet search, just to see what comes up. The question was, what percentage of the Earth is water? It comes out as 71%, of which 96.5% of the water is contained in oceans. Depending on which site you look at, but it says on some of them up to 60% of the human body is water. Some say 70%. It gets a little bit more complicated when you start looking at some of the other things. So for example, even the bones have 31% water. The brain and heart have 73% water. The lungs have 83% water. I mean, you think about it, water can be in a frozen state as ice. It can be as water, as a liquid. You can heat it, or you can cool it, and it creates a mist, a vapor, and then of course you've got air. And beyond air, you've got ether. So the water, you could say, has 4 states or 4 bodies, just like the human vessel is not just one. It is the physical body, the etheric body, the astral body, and the eye organization. So if you were to flip the script on man was created from the dust of the earth, but you wanted to say, assume yourself as the creator. So now you want to create Earth in the image of man. These ratios of water within the physical body and the water of the physical body of Earth are very similar. Would you consider that to be coincidence? Now, if we point in another direction and consider star forts, they're always near water. I would suggest that they are, or were, something to do with filtering. Now, if you've suddenly got all this water that's come down that was in a vapor canopy that is now in contact with Earth and it's changed, it's brought in a lot of contaminants, stone and soil and things, into the water. It would need to be filtered, so maybe those semicircular structures with what we're told is gun sights or arrow slots, could they not be some sort of box train type of filtering system? Then when you get to cathedrals, churches and chapels, they're always near streams, they're always near water. Now let's look at another aspect. Let's look at Admiralty law, the land of the sea, the law of the sea on the land. Do you see the pattern with all of this? Water is the life, it connects everything. I would suggest that the star forts and the cathedrals actually worked in conjunction, and it was to purify and possibly re-energize the water to something that it was before when it was suspended as a vapor canopy. And of course, also connected with water is things like the East India Tea Company sea people, merchant traders and sea routes. And again, the water is what connects everything. It's quite amazing when you start just mulling these things over and just see what comes into the mind. And of course, the brain, as well as the heart, it said, what was it, 73% water. 7 and 3 is 10, 1 and 0. Interesting coincidences possibly with the numbers. Maybe depends how deep you want to go into these sort of things. Depth, something that oceans have. You also have, it's interesting, if you've got, I forget what the terminology is, but basically oceans are sort of turned to a vapor and are sucked up to create the clouds, or that's what they tell us. What happens to all the salt that there is in the ocean's waters? And also consider that the Arctic ice and the Antarctic ice is fresh water. It's funny how you've got frozen ice and you've got salt water because they freeze at totally different temperatures. Just a few things to sort of mull over and go with the flow of the thoughts and consider how water is really the life giver to everything and anything in this reality. So I just thought I'd share those thoughts and make of it what you will, just a few things to ponder. So I would say love to you all, and maybe this video has made a splash, virtually speaking. Love to you all.